Here from the Betsy M. Ross Sports Link Studios, we have another edition of our podcast series, Heart of the Cardinal, where we dive in with student athletes and coaches about their journey here at Ball State. Chris Radican, Mick Tidrow with you. We'll talk to two Ball State football personnel today. Tristan Cook, offensive lineman, coming back from a major injury from last year. And then Jalen Moss, new snipers coach. We'll talk about what a snipers coach is, and then also Tristan Cook expands upon his journey.
Yeah, Coach Moss was great. He's really ready to lead that sniper room, playing a dual role in our defense. And then anytime you bring an O lineman in to talk, we're going to have a lot of fun talking about their craft and what they do. And he did not disappoint at all.
Former offensive lineman Chris Radican for Ball State football, current offensive lineman Tristan Cook. Lots of good content. That's next here on Heart of the Cardinal.
Sometimes it's not the moment. It's the moment before the moment. The moment you make a choice. The moment you take control. The moment only you can own. GameBridge lets you invest on your terms. So you're not only in charge of this moment, but all the moments to come. Start investing now at GameBridge.io.
We're back for another edition of Heart of the Cardinal, and today with Ball State football, Jalen Moss, the snipers coach for the football team. Coach, we appreciate you joining us here on the show.
Appreciate you guys having me.
So you two know each other. Well, he knows you more than you knew him at this time. But with Coach Radican back in the day, coached against Jalen Moss.
He was a Fisher's Tiger.
Fisher's Tiger.
And we call him the evil Fisher's Tigers.
Okay, we don't want to start anything there. Well,
he was a great player. They had a Hall of Fame head coach. Defensive coordinator was probably one of the best in the state of Indiana. Yep. One of the best O-line coaches in the state of Indiana, Mike Kelly, and they had some really, really good teams. Yeah. Some really good. Did you play with Jeremy Chin?
Yes.
Yeah,
he was really
still playing.
He's playing for the Raiders now.
Yeah.
But he was not always 6'4", 220.
No, he was not.
So
he was probably the most under-recruited kid I've ever seen in high school football. Went to Southern Illinois, and now he's in his 6th or 7th year in the NFL.
Yep.
So yeah,
there's a certain matchup that you were mentioning earlier.
How many Mud Sox games did you win?
There's one game in particular we don't want to talk about ever that we blew a 30-point lead.
Yes.
Yes. But I believe 2 or 3. I'm counting the playoff games.
Yes.
Because those matter more than the regular season for us, at least.
We won 6 in a row when I was at HSC, so just telling you.
The rivalry begins on the podcast.
I remember that after that game, when we drew you guys for sectionals after that, we're like, all right, can't let this happen again. can't do it, boys.
All right. I had to bring that up. Sorry, Coach. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Love it. So snipers coach, what does that mean?
So in our defense, our sniper is essentially a hybrid safety and a linebacker. So probably one of the smarter guys in our defense. Probably one of your best football players overall. Yep. May not be the most athletic and the fastest and things like that, but that kid's going to be a really good football player.
Pound for pound, they're one of the best players on the field.
Yes, by far. We asked that kid to do a lot in our defense. It's a fun position to coach.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of teaching, obviously, that goes with it. But at the end of the day, those kids just go out there and just play ball.
Because you have to teach. You're basically going to teach a 210-pound kid
to play
go get the 300-pound lineman at times.
Yes,
and cover a 190-pound receiver as well. So,
and Coach Knowles does a good job of making sure that those guys aren't in bad situations. But they got to be able to do everything on the field.
Right.
So it's a fun position to coach, and it's been great learning under Coach Knowles, and kind of learning the position as a whole, and kind of understand the front seven part of things, because I've been a corners coach, obviously, the last 3 years at Butler. So you don't dive as much into run fits and things like that as you do now. So it's been good for my development and things like that.
What have you learned most from Coach Knowles?
Patience is probably the main thing, probably from him and Coach U. As a young coach, I was thrown into the fire early and had my own room early. So it was like you're trying to balance between how you were as a player versus how you have to be able to teach as a coach. And that's something that I will admit I struggled with early on. And, being around them and learning from them has been a blessing.
Okay. So having your own room, was it a confidence thing or just experience, or did you not feel comfortable early on? Or?
It was a mixture of both. I'll say like probably my first position meeting, that I ran on my own, I was pretty nervous.
Oh yeah, 100%, right?
I mean, I had just got done playing. I had a room full of a bunch of young kids. It was trial and error. Throughout the year, we got better and better, but it was trial and error early on. And then, I started to pick up the groove and everything like that. But it was definitely a learning curve with transitioning from playing to coaching.
Yeah, that transition from playing to coaching, it couldn't be any different. You think it's the same when you're playing, and it has nothing to do with the other.
Yeah,
so
it's insane.
What did you struggle with when you went to that, when you made that transition?
I would say probably understand the whole defense as a whole.
Yeah.
Right. When you're a player, yes, you may understand and get taught the whole defense, but you're not. I mean, you're focused on what you got to do, and that's about it.
You never cared about the fronts when you were covering guys, right?
No, I could care less
No.
if it's an over or an under front. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm covering him man to man. That's it.
Yeah.
So that part was different. And I never really understood or knew how much football I really didn't know until I got around guys that knew football. Like my first time sitting there listening to Coach Knowles and Coach U, it's like, oh, I don't know anything.
It's almost like they're speaking a little bit of foreign tongue, right?
Yeah. And it was different. And I'll say probably the most challenging thing again was probably just getting used to coaching versus like, yes, I can go out there and do it, but how can I get this kid to go out there and do it?
Right.
You know? So that was probably the hardest part. Football is football everywhere you go, but it's getting to be able to teach your system to a 18-year-old kid that has no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Talk about your playing experiences in college, post high school. What was that like?
So went to St. Francis in Indiana, won a national championship for our first year. I unfortunately wasn't in college yet for the first one. And then we almost three-peated my sophomore year, lost to Morningside in overtime in the Final Four game.
I remember watching that game.
Yeah, that was brutal. We had about 10 inches of snow that game. It was fun, but man, it was brutal. So played there for 4 years. COVID happened. So I got the extra year because of COVID, and then transferred to Indiana State. The guy I trained with back at home, Eric Allen, played under Coach Mallory. Played for Coach Mallory's dad, actually, at IU. So had that connection there, and then went to Indiana State, played there for a year. Tried to do the whole NFL, CFL stuff after that, had a couple workouts and things like that, but then met Coach Knowles actually working out. I was working out with his son at Pro X over in Westfield. And he was like, well, have you ever been interested in getting into coaching? And I was like, yeah, I guess. And here we are now. 4 years later, here we are. Never thought I would be here, honestly.
So Fishers, St. Francis, Indiana State, coaching at Butler, coaching out at Ball State, you're ingrained with the Indiana community. What's it been like for you to be able to impact all those different types of communities within the same state?
It's been awesome. I have not, was just crazy because everybody talks about coaching and how you're going to move 5,000 times.
Right.
I have not moved more than 15 minutes. So that part's it's been really cool. But it's been awesome just like having my friends be able to come to games, and see me transition from being a player to be a coach. It's been awesome for my family. Like my family's going to come to every game. My dad's going to be best friends with somebody's dad on the team. He always is. So that part's pretty cool. Yeah, it's being from Indiana and knowing the area, knowing the high school kids, especially at Butler early on, like the recruiting was easy because I had worked out with a lot of the kids that I was recruiting. So that part made it a very, very easy adjustment, which is kind of fun to be able to see those kids even grow from seeing them as an 8th grader to now seeing them as a freshman in college. And
right.
It was awesome.
Right. That probably helps based off of what you were saying, the transition from player to coach and how it can be more different. Like at least having that piece of familiarity probably helped a lot.
Yes. Huge. It was big time. So that was awesome. And then obviously getting the job here, and when Coach U got here, it's even some of the kids on the team now, I know them from when I was in college. For example, Russell Peterson, like I've known him since he was a freshman or sophomore in high school. So it's kind of weird in a way, but it's fun. It's awesome.
It makes for a nice connection.
Yes.
You can be a little bit intimate in your conversations with some of these kids as well, right?
100%.
You go from, Butler to Ball State with Coach U. What was that like when Coach U got the Ball State job?
I'm not going to say it was like, oh my gosh, what just happened? But it was definitely like, oh wow, he really got this thing.
Mhm.
It was awesome. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't have been happier for him when he got it. But there was kind of a wait and see period with, how the whole HR thing and all that stuff and having to wait. And then while still being at Butler, it was like, all right, well, what work do I need to do now between now and before going to Muncie?
Yeah.
So that was a little bit weird. But it was awesome.
Yeah, because once they hire you, you got to wait till it goes through the process here.
Yes.
The paperwork's got to go through and background checks and all that stuff. And yeah.
And what made it even not worse, but girlfriend and I are trying to figure out where are we going to move to Muncie? Are we going to live in Indy still? We're like, so that part was a little bit,
Right.
It was like, all right, well, what are we going to do? So she works down at Fifth Third, in Indy. So we had to figure out, are we going to move to Muncie and you commute, or are we going to stay in Fishers and I commute?
Right.
So I commute.
Just about to say, which one did you choose?
Get used to it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I love the drive here in the morning. It's peaceful.
quick. As long as you get on exit, whatever, 210 or whatever exit you get on, it's 40 minutes.
Yep,
right?
it's 40 minutes from our house. It's awesome.
Easy commute. What inspired you to play football in the first place? Let's go all the way back when you first started playing.
I just fell in love with the physicality of it. And like, I remember like being a little kid, and I was a big Dolphins fan when I was younger. But like just watching like guys like Ronnie Brown, and stuff like made me fell in love with the game. And then ever since I was a little kid, like that was my first baby picture, was with the football in my hand. So it was kind of destined for that.
That's great.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I just started falling in love with it when I was a little kid and been doing it ever since. And I remember when I was probably about 8 or 9 years old, like I started like drawing plays. I would watch games and then just have a notebook and start drawing plays up.
Oh, wow.
So I always knew I wanted to coach. I just didn't know how it would happen and when it would happen.
But it does. That's just how things happen, right?
Yes.
It's just truly.
Yeah.
So, did you play any other sports?
I played baseball growing up, ran track, played basketball. When I got to high school, it narrowed down to football and track.
Football was always your favorite, though.
Yep.
That was always
football
your go-to.
was made. That's what I did, and then I did track on the side. Now I started to fall in love with track, but football was the main sport.
What were your events in track?
The one was my okay event. The 200 was my really good event, and then I was a 400 runner.
Okay, we just had Shaq in here, Coach Van.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys raced,
Yes, I could beat him.
You would. Oh, wow. I love
100%.
that.
It was quick. This is really good. We should have had everybody on the podcast.
He's not gonna like me telling this, but
That means it's a good story.
there's one coach in our staff that was doing sprints one day, and he pulled his hamstring. So it wouldn't happen to me. I'm just letting you know that, because some of us still have our youth to us.
Yeah,
a bit.
still a little spring
little
in the.
springy.
So we've gone down the line here because we asked Ray, like, hey, has anybody asked you to run a 40? He's like, yeah, I've got challenged a couple of times. Well, we asked Shaq who would win between Ray and Shaq, and now we're asking you between you and Shaq.
Yeah.
So this is good competition. Now the next thing is we mic all of you up
Mm-hmm.
and we go in a tournament.
Oh yeah,
Is that the answer to
Gotta
how
have
it
it.
goes? Yeah.
it's got to happen.
I got the cleats ready to go.
Okay. So does Ray. We know Ray has the cleat.
Coach Smith wears them in practice.
He does, and
What do you think about that? I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
about the cleats in practice? I'm a big fan of it.
Love it. Okay.
I love it, especially for DB coaches and receiver coaches.
Is that something you're gonna do?
Yeah, I
Okay,
will.
go there.
Yeah, I will.
He's
That's awesome.
inspiration.
Because you can run around. You feel like if I got to demonstrate a drill, I'm not worrying about, because I have had my shoe rip one time trying to demonstrate a drill.
Oh yeah,
I don't want that to happen.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm a big cleat guy.
Okay.
I was a cleat guy in college too. It was bad. I had a lot. I probably had about 15 pairs of cleats.
Did you really? Just
Yeah.
kept them piled up in there. Are you a neat locker guy, or was your locker a mess?
Super neat.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of that's because at home everything's super neat.
Let me ask you a question. In practice in high school, did you talk a lot?
Yes.
Okay.
All
yeah.
day,
Okay.
every day.
You confirmed the quotes I got yesterday about you then.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't stop talking during practice.
Yeah. And so you've carried that from high school into your coaching.
Yes.
Yeah. Cause that was the one thing everybody told me about. He never stops talking. So
Which can be a bad thing at times, but
how did Coach Wimmer handle that?
he wasn't too bad. He didn't mind it.
Okay. What about Coach Judd?
he kind of told me to shut up sometimes.
I believe it. He's cranky sometimes. If you're watching this, Coach Judge, you know you are.
We had some knuckleheads on our defense. So there's a lot they had to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But between my buddy, one of my best friends, RJ, between him and I talking all day, it probably got pretty annoying.
Are you talking about Roosevelt?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good player.
He was.
Yeah.
He was a really good player.
Yeah, he was a really good player. So
When you talk about the athletes within a sniper's room, like what are you doing to make sure that they are catching up to speed? I think that's one of the more interesting parts of the conversation, because you guys had kind of mentioned the hybrid position. You think of Isaiah Simmons as somebody who's played a hybrid position in the NFL and things like that. But when you're trying to teach them the position, what does that room look like? What's that conversation look like?
So I think we do a good job, first things first, as a staff, of building our installs to where they're not doing 5 different things in one day. To start off with, at least. So like we won't start our installs off with them doing a whole bunch of different stuff, so that I can focus on, hey, this is when you're a linebacker, you're a linebacker. And then when you're a safety, you got to be a safety. And then obviously once you get that groundwork laid, then you can start to build upon and make it where, all right, you got to be able to go from this to this and this to this. And our guys have done a really good job of picking it up. But it's a challenge at times of trying not to dive too deep into certain things. It's hard not to dive into like all the pass game stuff and like, and all, making them understand that like you got to be a run first player a lot of times, but you also got to be a pass first player sometimes. So our meetings are kind of split 50-50 with that.
Okay.
what's the one thing you want every sniper in your room to have? The one physical skill that they need to have?
Block destruction.
Block destruction.
I talk about this with you guys all the time, is we cannot let receivers block us.
Right.
You should never let a receiver block.
Not allowed.
Not allowed. All right. Tight ends, you got to find a way to get off them, make a move in space, if you need to. But receivers, Coach Van does a great job with our guys, and our guys want to block. But at other schools, most receivers don't come to college to block.
They do not.
They come to college to catch balls and, go and do touchdown dances and all that stuff.
Right.
They don't want to block.
So
you gotta
that's a good practice, right? If Coach Van's group wants to block, your group's got to work against that.
Yes. And we do a lot of competition drills. We do like perimeter every day with Coach U. It's great.
That's a good drill.
It's awesome. It's awesome that we do it in front of the whole team too, because
that's the half line one where yep.
where the guys get to see like, oh, you don't want to go take on a block, or you don't want to go block somebody. That's not cool, dude. Right. So it's a great atmosphere. Guys love it. You get the O-line on the side with Coach Barr talking crap all day long, and talking to the DBs. So it's a great environment. I love perimeter drill.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's an easy drill to set up and do. And our guys get into it. So it's good.
How would you say Coach U has impacted you through the time that you've known him in your career?
Man, I've had some great head coaches in my life, and like guys that have been awesome. Coach U is by far one of the greatest human beings I've been around in my life. He's honest. All right. And that's one of the first things I kind of took from him, is like, he never lies to you about anything. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. If it's something that you don't want to hear, he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you in a respectful manner, but He's going to tell you. And I can respect that. And I know a lot of everybody else can respect that too. Is like, he is going to be upfront and honest with you about everything. He has a plan with everything he does. He doesn't just go out there and start making stuff up. He's really structured in everything he does. And he understands that, yes, coaching in football is a huge part of our lives, but also so is spending time with your family and going and hanging out with each other outside of the office. And that's one thing that he does. I think he does a better job than probably any other head coach in the country, of like understanding that you guys have to have lives outside of football. But while you're here in the office, it's work, work, work. But when you go home, it's not work, work, work.
Nice balance.
Yes.
It's important.
It is.
It's important. What do you do in your free time?
Play Xbox. I'm
Okay.
a big NCAA guy.
Awesome. Okay. Good stuff.
There's not a kid on our team that can beat me.
I love how competitive Coach Moss
great.
is. Like,
I love
this is
He
fantastic.
is great.
So when it drops in July, you're going to be one of the first ones to order it?
Oh, 100%.
You pre-ordering?
No, I won't pre-order, but it will be
pre-order.
downloaded. It will be downloaded as soon as it's ready to roll.
Okay, that's cool.
And what's fun about that too is like I like running our actual defense on there.
Oh, do you?
So it's awesome.
Okay.
I don't remember what we were.
Other video games. What other games?
Call of Duty.
Okay.
I used to be a Fortnite guy back in college, not so much now. But I spent in MLB. I'm a big MLB The Show
Okay,
guy.
great choice. Who's your team?
The Marlins.
Marlins. Okay.
Fair enough. Fair
Used to play 2K a lot, but now it's gotten watered down. So not a big 2K guy anymore.
Yeah.
But outside of that, spend time with family. Spend time with my girlfriend, our dog. We got a golden retriever. So
Okay. Awesome.
that occupies a lot of time.
What's his or her name?
Her name's Drew. So it's Drew.
Awesome,
It's
okay.
got a boy name, but she's a girl.
Okay.
You got 2 dog owners here as well.
Yeah,
we're
big
big
dog
fans.
people.
She occupies a lot of her time for the most part.
Yeah.
But when we're at home together, she occupies. It's awesome.
Yeah.
She runs around all day. She loves grills. So like if she'll go up and like sniff grills all day long because she just wants to smell the food that was left off of it. So she's a fun dog.
Love it. How old is Drew?
She's a year and a half, almost pushing 2 years,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Good.
So yeah, we got her from Uncle Bill's.
Oh, did you?
We did.
Okay.
Got them from Uncle Bill's in Zionsville, and yeah, well, she was a little puppy, and now she's
Not a puppy.
not a puppy anymore.
Yeah.
She's still small on the smaller end, but she's not a puppy.
Can your girlfriend walk her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she can.
Doesn't pull a whole lot.
No, doesn't pull, and used to pull,
Yeah.
but not anymore. We got her trained. By we, I mean her.
Jalen, when you look at your career as a whole, player, coach, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that you've pushed through to help make you who you are today?
Transferring to Indiana State was one of the hard ones. From being the guy at St. Francis for 4 years and then going to Indiana State, and I got there in the summertime, and it was like I got to earn a spot within a month, basically. That was probably the hardest thing. And then after that, not knowing what I was going to do with my life after football. That was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. And just figuring out like what's next, and not wanting to chase it for forever, and understand that there's got to be a plan B. That was probably the hardest thing to get to myself to know.
This goes right off of what you were just saying. Knowing what you know now as a coach or as a person in football, what do you wish that you could tell your younger self, either during your playing days or when you were just starting out as a coach?
Watch more film to understand it, or understanding how to watch film. Like that was a big thing in college, of understanding how to watch films to be able to, like I watched a lot, but I didn't always understand like what I was really watching. So that would probably be a big one. And just knowing more of the front seven part. I think that would have helped me early on in coaching, especially like that first year. I told Coach Knowles this, but I didn't know what the heck was going on up front. Like I couldn't tell you what our run fits were. I was worried about my position group, and that's it. So,
Right.
But that I wish I would have spent a little bit more time of trying to understand it that first year.
It's hard, especially when you're young. You're focused on, oh my gosh, I'm trying to keep my head above water with these guys.
Yeah.
I don't have time to worry about that other stuff. So
Yes.
you'd have to have a lot of foresight to have understood that stuff. So that's not, but
And I had 2 true freshmen playing.
yes.
Now they did really good, but yes, it was, that was an interesting time. That was a fun group to be around though.
How many guys are in your room exactly?
I have 5.
5. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Well, when the Mudsock game happens this year, if there's time, are you both going to be there?
I think we are in,
Their schedule came out already.
we're in Auburn.
Well, we are in Auburn that week. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what the high school
Yeah.
schedule. It didn't come out.
Last year we were in Miami, I believe. So
Okay. So no, won't be at the Mudsock.
We'll not be.
We'll leave that here then.
It's 10,000 people and it's insane. You got to park 10
It's
miles
the best
away.
game
Yeah.
in the
The
country.
state.
I would say almost in the country
Yeah.
outside of
I like it.
Texas high school football.
That's awesome.
It's pretty insane.
I guess I need to go now at some point when we're not at Auburn.
You do.
When we're not at Auburn.
It's awesome.
What's crazy is whenever they play in the playoffs, it's half the crowd. It makes no sense at all.
I don't know. But it's like that first game during the season.
Yeah.
It is. I remember going to that as a little kid, and I was like, "Oh cow, this is insane."
It's different.
Yeah. different than the rest of the games for sure.
Yeah.
There's some definite hatred there.
Yep.
Well, Coach Moss, we appreciate you joining the show. Best of luck this year. Can't wait to see what you and that sniper's room cook up this year. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's not the moment. It's the moment before the moment. The moment you make a choice. The moment you take control. The moment only you can own. Gainbridge lets you invest on your terms. So you're not only in charge of this moment, but all the moments to come. Start investing now at Gainbridge.io.
We're back in the SportsLink Betsy M. Ross studios here on Heart of the Cardinal podcast, focused on Ball State football here today with Tristan Cook, offensive lineman. Tristan, really appreciate your time as you guys are getting back in the swing of things here in the summer.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to have a good conversation with you guys.
What has the last couple of days been like for you personally to get back into the swing of things over the summer?
It's super exciting. Having the whole team here, just ready to go. We're all motivated. Finally got all the guys here, guys from transfer portal, freshmen coming in 2 weeks. So, yeah, super excited. I know Coach Greenstone got a great program for us in the summer. And we're on day 2 and we're already hitting football. So I think we had like 2-hour meeting this morning, which is awesome because we're getting in the film room and producing on the field. So I'm super excited.
You mentioned Coach Greenstone. We saw him mic'd up a couple of months ago. What is he like to be able to learn from and train with Coach Greenstone?
Oh man, he's awesome. He's another dude on the field, but when you need him, he's right there. When you're hurt, he's right there. When you just need extra work, he's right there. Most enthusiastic guy you ever meet. Just like basically one of the guys, which is awesome. Ready to go, ready to push you, but always trying to keep you safe and get you better every day.
With the new staff, Tristan, how is it different with the new strength coach as it was in the previous staff? What's it been different for you?
Yeah. Honestly, it's funny because that's kind of what I'm studying too, in school, understanding like how your body works and stuff like that. And so obviously a lot of different things that we're incorporating in this type of strength program with Coach Greenstone than we did with our last one. But the crazy part is, right, it's just work hard. That's the motto between all three. I've had 3 different strength coaches in my time here, but the hardest thing is work hard. And that's the motto between all 3. And that's the one thing that we need to do is just keep working hard, put your pedal to the metal, really. It's just the biggest thing.
What's your best lift?
My best lift?
Yes. I don't want numbers, but what do you do?
No. I like clean. It's a very technical movement. If you're very technical about it and you do it right, then you can lift a lot of and do heavy weight with the clean.
Big translation from clean to being a football player.
Explosive hips.
What was yours as an offensive lineman?
My clean, power clean, 100%. Yeah,
Squat.
100%. Terrible.
Yeah.
And this is the offensive line show, by the way. You guys can take this over.
It was hard to get down, man.
We got a long range of motion to go.
Right.
And I wasn't a great bencher because I have a 40-inch. My arms are 40 inches, so I mean that's a long way to go.
Right, exactly. Everybody's like, you should be so good at bench. Like, well, I could press mountain. So
I'm really good at making excuses.
Wow, we'll leave it there. You mentioned everybody coming in. Have you got everybody's name down yet?
Oh, not everybody's come in. I'm okay with names, but we're still working on that. I
love it. How have you seen the offensive line group grow since spring ball?
Oh man, the offensive line group's grown amazingly. The biggest thing that I said is we came and grew strong on our faith. That's a huge thing for me, God first, faith, family, football. And throughout spring, we, I was blessed to, and along with my buddy Luke, we started praying before and after. And such a beautiful thing to see that because we all grew and we became a true unit during the spring. Obviously, we have new guys in, and so I'm excited to incorporate those guys and grow together just through the summer. You can attest to this, but O-line group, that's your brothers. That's who you're with, especially fall camp. You do not leave each other. So, I'm excited.
As the spring went on, who surprised you the most? Another player who surprised you the most?
Yeah, Nate Voorhees. Man, I love that kid. We go at it every day. He's a defensive end, and so much fun to go against him. He's gonna be a dog. He's gonna be a player. Kicks my butt every day. Yeah, he beats me every day, man. But I give him a good look. So, but no, I'm excited for him.
We talked about before we went on the air. We talked about run blocking versus pass blocking. You enjoy the run block way more. Tell me why.
Yeah, no, run blocking. Just put your head down, kind of hit somebody. Obviously, there's definitely scheming you have to do and play patient efficient and play hard, but pass pro is so technical. I like pass pro because you got to work hard at it. But you know, a lot of my teammates will make fun of me. I do pass sets like just randomly, you know. But you know, run game, you can put your head down and just hit somebody, especially power schemes. Yeah, just down block.
Great point. Are you better at a gap scheme, power scheme, or are you better at a zone scheme?
I think every O-lineman is better at that, but no, the zone scheme's fun because when it works, man, it's beauty in motion.
It really is.
I mean, the running back hits the hole, it's perfect and it's beautiful. So,
okay.
But yeah.
All right. What's your weakness in the pass pro? Because you talked about that being something you have to work on.
Oh man, I don't know if I should give it up if people are gonna watch. No, but yeah, definitely Nate Voorhees, man. Like what I talk about him, he hit me a few times inside, and the inside move, just being strong on the inside, man. He got me with that.
Never get beat inside.
Never
That's
get beat.
Rule.
Never.
That's your rule.
It's in one-on-ones. It's just like, man, you got to protect that inside. But
well, everybody knows that's a D lineman drill,
right?
Right. And it's not fair. The world's not fair. And
there's that excuse thing coming back out.
Right, exactly. Good at excuses around here. So it's 50 years ago too. They were bad at one-on-ones, right?
Oh yeah.
So it trickled now.
Wow. Okay.
Wait.
Make sure it's not a new thing.
I mean, I'll be 93 next week. So yeah.
Man, that's great.
Hit you with it 50 years ago.
He did that. I deserve it.
It's okay. I'll be 38 years old and going on year 3. So.
Oh, Tristan, when you look at what your journey's been like, you mentioned you're 38 years old. How have you been able to recover after last year's injury?
Yeah, it was hard. Biggest thing for me was understanding guys first. And I was going into last year, and man, I was putting football first and idolizing that a lot. So it broke me down when I was injured. But coming out of it, I grew in my faith a lot, and I connected with God a lot. And it's such a beautiful thing. We have a great Bible study here, and a lot of great people here that helped me see, that this is God's plan. And honestly, it slowed me down and it helped me understand, like, I got plenty of time. It's actually funny. When I came to college, I was 17, so I was really young. And so I guess it's kind of like we always talk about, there's, 20-year-olds, and like, it's funny. There's freshmen that are older than me. So kind of a blessing in disguise, and I can see that now. So recovery's great. I'm excited to get back on that field though. So
what's it been like to build yourself back up to be ready to go?
Definitely a hard process, more so mentally than physically, because it's fun for me to go and do the work. I love going to work. Again, they make fun of me for doing kick slides, but it's just what I do. I wake up, I'll do it in my sleep. I'll do it, just sitting there watching TV. But, it's definitely been a process and a challenging thing mentally. But the biggest thing is having your teammates around you, encouraging you, telling you got this, just keep going. Our trainer's great, like, pushing me every day, giving me sheets, the workouts to get better, to rehab, do stuff like that. And actually, honestly, the biggest thing for me is, like, for my future, wanting to help people train and stuff like that. Having that experience is way better. When people go through it in the future, I can help them to have a little more sympathy with that. So
go ahead.
Where did that idea for you to be a trainer come into play? Was it just something over time you thought that would be fun or engaging?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a coach, but in some kind of fashion, ministry is always first, and whatever I do, I want God to be the forefront of it. But the biggest thing too with wanting to train is I just love the way the body works, the way it moves, and just seeing. Like, for me, I've always told people I'm not a great player. I have confidence I am, but my saying is I'm not a great player. I just work hard. And so the thing is I like seeing kids, younger athletes too. I say, I'm still young, but, I like seeing them work hard and get what they want out of it. When they work hard, it's such a good feeling. So yeah, that's the biggest thing is seeing other people grow. It's such a cool thing for me.
When did you realize in high school that you would be able to play at this level?
Oh man, I don't know. Honestly, probably not until end of junior year. Sophomore year, I was like 320 pounds. Oh man, I was like probably 50% body fat, and I really had to lock in and get to work. Guy back at home, Dale, right? His name's Dale Robinson. He got me in really good shape, helped me work hard. That's kind of what he kind of built my mindset of working hard. And I just continued to grind every day, get up. I would get up before school, run, and go back to school, and then we had practice after. So it probably not till end of junior year I realized, like, okay, I got a chance at this. And so now I just got to keep working hard, keep taking steps forward.
Did you play other sports in high school?
Not in high school. I did in middle school and when I was younger.
Okay.
But I was always that fat kid, so, I had to stick to O-line.
Gotcha.
But, yeah.
What do you do in your free time?
I love movies.
Okay.
I really love
What kind of movies?
Oh,
elaborate.
Man, any movie, man. Oh, I guess like I like the action. You know, I'm a Marvel guy, DC guy.
Oh yeah,
yeah, stuff like that.
So the coaches had a video that the team's been putting out inside the Nest series. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Where a bunch of the coaches name their top 3 movies.
Oh man,
If you can name your top 3 movies, what would they be?
My first one's got to be Greater. About Brandon Burlsworth.
great movie.
Love that story. Man, and it's funny to see what he did as, you know, a walk-on, and I'm blessed to, you know, not be a walk-on, and it's such a blessing to see, like, oh, he can do it, like, I can do it. Like, just work hard. Number 2, oh, man, there's so many good movies. Definitely not Zoolander, Coach Barr. That's crazy. Zoolander's crazy, Coach Barr. But I'll probably have to say maybe Matrix.
Okay.
I love that type style. And then number 3, I'll do Ace Ventura. I'm a Jim Carrey.
Can you do an Ace Ventura impression?
Oh,
I'm not asking
man.
you to do it now.
Man, I could. I really could. Yes, I probably could.
Well, we'll let you warm up for the next couple minutes, and then at the end of the show, while you mentally prepared, we'll
Oh
let
man,
you try it.
I don't know about all that.
What are you looking forward to as the season approaches? What are you looking forward to the most over the summer?
I guess just building off the thing that you said about O-line coming together. That's the biggest thing. I'm excited to see our O-line grow. New guys, we got I think 6 new guys, which that's a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
You know, for any group, especially the O-line. So I'm excited to see us grow. In our Bible study grow too. We had lost a lot of guys. You know, just college football the way it works, and we lost a lot of guys in the Bible study. So I'm excited to see that grow. When I got here, it was like 7 people. When like last year we had like 40. You know, start coming regularly, and we had 7 guys baptized actually this past spring. So that's such a beautiful thing, and I'm excited to see that grow through the fall.
You mentioned you'll be your 3rd year. You've still got 4 years of eligibility, right?
Yes, sir.
What's that balance for you? Still being somebody who's been here for a couple of years, but also, you know, trying to get onto the field, play, and now you're a veteran presence in that room. Like all of that packaged together and recovering from an injury. How do you balance all of that to be the best version?
Oh yeah, seeing it as a blessing is the biggest thing. Not seeing it as like, oh man, like I got 4 years left. No, it's like, oh man, I got 4 years left. I can make a change. I can do, you know, I can right where God wants me to be. It's one of those things. Like I'm just excited to attack it every day. You know, and a bunch of great guys in the room. You know, excited to see and learn from them, and you know, them learn from me. Just that's the biggest thing. It's like no one's better than anyone else. We just all learn and grow from each other. That's the line. Like. You can't play with one O-line. You need 5. And so I'm excited for all 5 of us to go dominate. And the funniest thing is from last year, well, I say you need 5. Really, you need 15. I mean, last year, the starting O-line at the beginning was not the same at the end.
Yeah, never is.
You know, injuries happen. People got to rotate in and out. I mean, we had 4 or 5 guys get hurt last year. So all 5 were almost different. And so that's the biggest thing with the O-line. That's why you need so many guys, and all of them need to know what to do, no matter like, your biggest, like, if you're a starter, whatever, like, next guy's gonna be ready to go, no matter what happens. So,
do you like going no huddle or?
Oh man, you got to be in really good shape for that.
You
got to be, but I like huddle. I like huddle. No, but no huddle is fun when you get in the problem is usually if you're no huddle, you're in a bad situation. So I don't want to be in no 2 minute. I want to be up by 50. So
there you go.
I like it.
I like
up
that
by
too.
50.
Yeah, up by 50. I'll take it every week.
Tristan, when you look at your career as a whole, how would you describe your journey?
That's a good question. I'd say, like, if I had to use one word, I'd say patient. Because there's definitely, like I said, my freshman year, I made the travel squad and was excited to do that, but I didn't play. I didn't really have any significant snaps. I got in 2 games, and then obviously last year I was injured. So just kind of patient, waiting for my time, you know, whenever that time is, whether that's this year or next year, whatever that is, or if it's never. Like, I'm just trying to trust the process with it and seeing where God wants me with that. But I'm excited, you know, if this is the year, then this is the year. Just every day, like, you wake up, it's one day at a time. You got to take it that way, and you can't look at the next day, or I can't even look forward for the first game. I got to look at, okay, what's OTA look like tomorrow? Okay, how can we get better tomorrow? And then Thursday, and then after that, like right now, I can't even think about Thursday, you know, so just keep working towards the next day.
How do you like the new turf?
Oh, it's nice. It's nice. You got to break it in. A little mushy, but it'll get broken in. Way better than that old one, man.
For an offensive lineman to be able to play it, that has to feel pretty good to know that that's brand new.
Oh, yeah. So much better. It's funny, too. Last year, they had the middle piece was a little different. And so if you ever lined up,
yes,
I had, you know, I'm staggered. So 1 foot on that and then 1 on the old one. It just It just felt funny.
It was the dancing Charlie. Is what he's talking about.
He was dancing. Yeah,
It's a whole nother show.
it is. Tristan, where did your love of football come from?
My love of football. I'd probably say my dad. He never played football, and he kind of like, he didn't force me in anything. He told me I could do whatever I wanted to do. And so he loved football, and he put me in it when I was probably 7. And I mean, me and him had little pictures when I was that young, and like I'm dry blocking him and just playing football with him, throwing the ball around with him. And the biggest thing is, like I said, never forced on me. So he's not trying to like live his fame through me or anything. He's just glad to see me. And he's always told me, like, whatever makes you happy, like go do that. If it's football, it's great. If it's not, great, whatever it is. But I mean, I always call football like a game of chess. You know, it's a big game of chess. Very technical, obviously run game, right? You put your head down, but it's calculated, right? You know, it's violence in a controlled frame of mind on the O-line. Like, you can be violent, but if you're not controlled, there's no point in playing it, right? You know, you got to slow down and understand. So it's such a beautiful game. Probably one of the hardest games out there, especially on the O-line. You know, I know people have heard this been said, only position that's got your back to the ball. So I do love the O-line, man. Like, it's protector, and it's a hard position, but you know, it's one that's worth playing. So
The smartest guys on the field.
that's true.
100% every time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Every day of the week and twice on Sunday. What's your who's your biggest fan?
My biggest fan. Oh man, I'm gonna say my whole family. I can't just say one. I call them the core 4. You know, I got my mom, my stepdad, my stepmom, and my dad. And also Andrea Bug at home. Her name's Coach. I call her Coach Bug. She's my FCA leader from home. She kind of led me to Christ when I was younger. But you know, that core 4 and her, like they support me through and through. And my dad, like, he never missed a game. Even when I was injured, he drove and it was a rainy game, and all I do was stand on the sideline. I told my dad, I'm like, listen, you do not need to be here. Like, I'm not even playing. I'm got one leg, a kickstand. I'm not playing. And he showed up and he was there. So, and my mom's always there too. And all of them are always there. So it's awesome.
Do you see yourself going back to Lexington after school?
Well, my mom actually moved out of Lexington.
Okay.
Right now, yeah, still in Kentucky.
Okay.
But I don't know. I honestly don't know. Dream place would be North Carolina. I hear the weather's nice out there.
Yeah.
So
That's what we're here.
yeah.
Beautiful.
I've never really seen it, but
Yeah.
I hear it's nice.
Do you miss anything about Kentucky? Not being all there all the time, or
I miss the hills. You
Yeah.
know, it's so flat here.
a little bit flat?
A
here
little,
in Indiana?
you just see cornfields on cornfields, but in Kentucky, you don't see past one hill, and that's fine with me. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay.
I also miss my dog back at home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What kind
Always.
of dog?
She's a mini golden doodle. Her name's Lucy.
Awesome. Love it. Hi, Lucy.
Yeah.
Tristan, before we let you go, do you think you have an Ace Ventura impression in you?
Oh my gosh.
Or we put you on the spot too?
I don't know. I feel like you got a good one.
I do not.
I-
Absolutely not.
I just feel like, you know, O-line connection, I can sense it.
I have some shame. I'm not doing that on camera.
Yeah.
Man,
Perfect. We'll leave it for a different segment.
Yeah.
Maybe another time.
that sounds good.
I love it. Tristan, really appreciate you joining us here on Heart of the Cardinal. Great to hear more of your story and who you are. Best of luck with the finalizing the recovery process and everything, but really excited to see what you and this Ball State football team does come fall.
Sounds good. I really
Amen.
appreciate it.
Amen.
Thank you, Tristan.
Thank you.